if you are still afraid to speak your mind, even though you know it would be so good for you and it would be so profitable and it would be so beneficial and it would be the right thing to do, and because of that fear of public speaking, you're now missing out on clients, on business, on opportunities, on conversations, on connections that could actually be incredible. We need to have a conversation about this because this is something that impacts so many people, unfortunately, but also needlessly. In this video, I want to show you how we can actually fix that easily. I did just say that, easily, because so many people try to fix this problem thinking they need to calm themselves down. They need to meditate on it. They need to do some breathing techniques. They need to stand in front of the mirror and rehearse and regurgitate the information over and over and over until maybe, hopefully, one day they may feel more confident. They think they need more confidence and courage. They think they need to go to Toastmasters for the next 10 years, and then maybe, eventually, hopefully, they will feel more comfortable in front of a crowd. They think that they're just shy. That's a good one. And so many people try to fix this using the wrong tools, using the wrong technology, and wonder why it hasn't worked. So again, I want to show you what specifically and exactly you can do for this problem to be gone, okay? Me too. I can resonate with this so deeply because for years and years and years, this was my problem too. I had a business and I knew, not just one, before this business, my fitness business, I knew in my heart and in my head that I should put myself out there. It would be so good for me. It would be so good for my prospects. It would be so good for my clients because I knew I had an amazing service. I had a fantastic product. I had an incredible ability to help people. Like I knew I was so good at my job, right? At my mission. I knew I was a crafted, skilled, competent, talented facilitator. But I was afraid to put myself out there. I was afraid to do Facebook Lives. I was afraid to do YouTube videos. I was afraid to do any kind of... Now, I did hide behind some cute words and posts, right? And I put pictures out there and memes and who knows what. But did it get me the results I wanted? Of course not. Because that literally is such a saturated thing that everybody's doing it. And it's easy because if I clickety-clack a couple words and throw them up there, yeah, maybe something will stick. Except everybody's doing it. So therefore, it literally drowned out in the noise. And every single day, I work with business owners, professionals who know I should speak up in the boardroom. I should have that difficult conversation. I should get into a negotiation. I should be able to communicate more powerfully. I should put myself out there. I should go to networking events. I should promote my business more. But that should never leads to any action because there is something inside of you that is preventing you from taking action on this very logical, reasonable idea. So the other thing that I think we need to spotlight here, which a lot of people often don't even focus on is, and again, just heads up, because what I'm about to share with you is probably not the most convenient, comfortable, or even pleasant truth about this. But if we're going to handle this problem, we're going to have to handle it powerfully and completely. And so here's the question that a coach once asked me as I had this problem. And it really landed. It really slam dunked it for me because it kept me up at night. It caused me so much shame and blame and guilt. What he said was, okay, you not putting yourself out there, you not communicating to people, you not marketing and selling on behalf, not just on your business, but on the people that need your help. First of all, this has become a moral issue because if you know you are the best surgeon in the world and you can save people's lives and you have the ability and you're hiding in the closet hoping that maybe somebody's just gonna eventually knock on the door and find, then doesn't that become a moral issue? Don't you think you owe it to people to be out there and say, hey, I can actually help you with that. I can actually help you save your life. I can actually make your life easier. So that's one. And then he asked me, what do you think this problem is costing you? How much money do you think you might be leaving on the table? How many people out there are still suffering? And you know that if you only help them, they would change their life. How many opportunities do you think you might have left on the table? How many people have you not helped? How many people have you not touched? And so back to that moral issue again. Because what is a business, right? A business is about serving. And then I realized how many people I didn't serve because I was shy and I was afraid to go on camera and I was afraid to speak on behalf of my business. I was afraid to speak on behalf of my talent and skill and ability because, and here it comes, this is the most important part about this video. The reason most people are not putting themselves out there or having those difficult conversations is not because they're not competent, skilled, talented, and able to offer that service and do that service exceptionally well. That's not the reason. You know you're good. You know you're damn good at what you do. The reason is because there is inside of you a little voice, or maybe it's a big voice, that is secretly and silently controlling you, trying to convince you that the minute you put yourself out there, you're going to fail, you're going to fall, people are going to reject you, people are going to judge you, people are going to criticize you, people are going to shame you, berate you. In other words, something bad's going to happen. And so therefore, imagine if you had a voice whispering that to you, teasing you and taunting you, oh, don't do it because this bad thing's going to happen, and then that bad thing, people are going to leave you negative comments, and oh, what if your boss, your former boss from 500 years ago watches it and like finds everything wrong with you, and what if somebody else says, well, who do you think you are? You're not as good as so-and-so yet, you're not coach blah, blah, blah. And yeah, guess what? Of course that's a possibility, and that's just a fact of life. But until we delete, erase, eradicate that voice, which by the way is a program, which by the way is a subconscious program. And when I say subconscious, a lot of people don't know it's not in their awareness. And this is why they haven't been able to fix it yet. And they've tried to fix this with commercial, traditional, your average, across the board, like again, calm yourself down, do some breathing techniques, do some meditation. Those things are great, but they don't work in a case of fear of public speaking. They work temporarily and they work with a lot of force and willpower and self-discipline. Yeah, eventually. And then you somehow get to that stage and you are able to at least somehow muster through. But that's not what I want for you. The real goal is for you to be able to show up and feel comfortable in your skin. Feel like you actually want to do this, where you feel moved toward that task, that conversation, that presentation, where you can show up and actually feel proud and easy, and where you can actually be in the flow. That is what we can make happen. And how do we make that happen? Simple. By helping you change that program that is right now running the show, which again, it's a subconscious program. Sub means out of your conscious awareness. You can't fix what you don't understand. And until you make conscious what's in your unconscious, it will run your life. Carl Jung's famous, one of my favorite words he ever used. Until you make conscious what's in your subconscious, it will control your life. And then we call it, oh, it's a personality flaw. It's just my fate. It's just my bad luck. That's just how I'm wired. No, you're not. No, you're not. Anything you don't like about yourself, whether it be a behavior, an action, a habit, a addiction, anything, it's just a program. And we can change that. saying this as if it's no big deal. It is a big deal. And when I say we can change it, I'm not saying like within 5 seconds. It's a bit of a process, but it can be done. And you can do this naturally. You do not need to rely on drugs or meds or anything outside of you. This is something you can do naturally. And the way I do this with my clients is I get curious about the subconscious. What is in their subconscious that is controlling them, that is running the show, that even though this person wants to do all these amazing things, but somehow they keep getting stuck, they keep running into walls, they keep, right? So my job is to help you identify what is that program that is raining on your parade. And the minute we find it, now things start to get really good and interesting, because that's when we can start to change. When you start to have awareness, to make conscious what's in your unconscious, and you have the willingness to work at it and to change it and to take a little bit of time and energy out of your busy schedule and actually focus on you, that's when the magic starts to happen. And then you also get to reap the benefits from this incredible work with yourself. Things can be much more effortless, whether it's that negotiation, that conversation, that sales call, that cold call, that, stage appearance, that whatever it might be. Ultimately, what you experience then is the fear is gone, the guilt is gone, the shame is gone, the blame is gone, and you actually feel moved toward that activity with joy and with passion and with motivation and with energy of the real you, so to speak. So in closing, again, I think it's really important to ask yourself, right? And it's none of my business because I don't know the answers, but you have the answers. What is this problem costing you? What have you missed out on? What has your business missed out on? How many opportunities have you missed out on? How many connections? What has your business missed out on? But most importantly, how have your clients missed out on? People that need your help, that you know you could serve, you know you could change their life, you know you could make their life better. Imagine if you did have the audacity to speak on behalf of that, and if you could do it comfortably and confidently and feeling like you're in control of yourself, where you can do it again in a very kind of a just expansive flow. I don't have the words, quite frankly, because it's almost like a natural, just an ease about you. Imagine what that would do for you. And this is something you can make possible. This is something I help my clients every single day with, who typically come to me as a last resort. What I hear from most of my clients is, Susan, I have been therapized to the moon and back. I've been in therapy for decades. I have been given the prescription drugs. I have been on all these meds. I have read the books. I've watched the motivational videos. I've been to Toastmasters. I've tried to practice. I've tried to talk myself into it. I've done the affirmations. I've done the visualization, the meditation. I've heard it all before. The retreats, the ayahuasca, the mushrooms, I've heard it all before. And again, I applaud you, like severely, I applaud you that, look, at least you have been invested. At least you have tried. The problem and what breaks my heart is that you have been given a process that is incomplete. That's why it hasn't worked. Not because of you, not because you don't have enough willpower or because you're not strong enough, not because of you. This is not your fault. This is the fault of the process that, again, is how is it supposed to work if you have been given the incomplete answers? Something either works or it doesn't. And that's what I stand for here. And when you, guess what? Ta-da! When you are actually given something that works, it will work. Period. End of story. And so needless to say, you want my help, you want more, you know where to find me. Yes, I offer a free consultation. And yes, We can do this virtually, and any other questions you might have, we can discuss on that call. And then fasten your seatbelt, because life is about to get really, really good. I'll see you soon.